when the ship was in Galveston, I was not in Texas. Yeah. But I can't get through an Uber or car or something.
Yeah, you're right. You gotta so first and foremost, hello everybody, and welcome on into our military appreciation and gathering. For those of you that I've not yet met, my name is Mark Hugh. I'm your cruise director on board. Hi, good afternoon, and hello.
Yay!
It's very awkward sympathy clap, but I'll take it. No, I'm very excited to take today to be able to slow things down and have a chance to be able to give out some love and recognition and appreciation to those that have had a chance to shape this world into what it is. And I am one of 14 Americans that work on the ship. For the front of house, like our guest perspective, there's we're the majority. Behind the scenes, I am quite the minority, and so for me, this is very near and dear to, like I said, slow it down and to be able to give that recognition and mostly appreciation outward. So I have a little program to be able to go through today to be able to do so, and as we do start us off, I wanted to start on one of the most patriotic ways that I could think possible, but you do not want to hear me sing, let alone at this point in time of the day. So I've actually invited one of our dear friends from our playlist cast to lead us in our national anthem. So I'm going to ask for those that are able to please stand as we welcome on to Sean to lead us in our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Gorgeous voice.
My favorite singer.
Wait, you want to wait then? You sure are.
That's when he's tired.
Alright. So you'll have a chance to hear Deshaun in our playlist cast with the show tonight. It's called Flick, which is Power Motion Pictures, as we have a chance to kind of go through like movie soundtracks and how that ties into the magic of a movie. So that'll be 7:30 and 9:30 if you want to be able to hear some more fun from them tonight. So. All right. Well, like I said, today's our opportunity to be able to slow things down and to be able to give out that recognition. And one of the biggest things is that we wanted to be able to take an opportunity to really be able to say thank you. Because we recognize that without each and every single one of you in this room, we wouldn't have the life that we have today. And we're going to dive into that in a second. But I want to be able to start off on an ability to be able to give out that recognition and to make sure that we have a chance to make sure that each of you are feeling the love that you deserve today. And so we're going to go through our branches. And as we do, I'm going to ask if you served as part of that branch to be able to stand loud and proud and get a well-deserved round of applause, but we're also going to be singing your song. So here's the thing. I know that everybody says that their branch was the best branch, but as I said, we're going to be one big happy family today, whether you like it or not. So we're going to support them along, we're going to sing along. I put the words on the screen so there's no excuse, all right? I said all right? Good answer. All right. Let's go ahead and start with those of the Army. Army, let's stand loud and proud and get some recognized right here. time, so thank you. Appreciate that. All right, next up we got those that are a part of the Navy. Navy, let's see you stand loud. Here we go. So we got those of the Air Force. Air Force, let me hear you guys. And next up we got the Coast Guard. Any Coasties in the house today? Oh, we love them anyway. Hey now. I will say I am a little bit more confused when we usually get like a lot of like Coast Guard or like Navy and how they go from one ship to another and call that vacation. But you know, you do you, boo-boo. Yeah. All right, and our newest branch, which I know not as many people are familiar with, those of the Space Force. Do we have any Space Force in the house? Your son is? All right. Now, I will say for the longest time, the Space Force didn't actually have their own song, and I felt really, really bad because I wanted everybody to, you know, feel part of today. So I actually did a little bit of research, and I found the song that I think best works for the Space Force. And I've started a petition because I think when it comes down to it, a better song for them would be the one that I found. Some people call me the space cowboy. Some call me the gangster love. Right? Like, wouldn't you want to watch something like this? Like, isn't that cool? An air guitar solo? Alright, well, they're not here with us today, but we still love them. So, big round of applause for our Space Force. Alright. Now, as we are at international waters, one of the other sides of this is I've been doing this for long enough to know that military recognition and let alone appreciation is not something that's necessarily as prominent in the rest of the world. And I want to make sure that those that may not be here, from here, that are still here today, get that love from us. So for our international allies that might be from across the pond or neighbors to the north, I'm going to ask that you stand and let's recognize you right here, right now, and get some of that love today. All right. We love them anyway. we also recognize that coming back from service or kind of retiring out or moving on, being able to take the skills that you've learned and make them transferable are not necessarily the easiest. However, there's still a level of being a hero that's still really important. So today, we also want to be able to recognize our first responders, our police officers, our firefighters, our EMTs, paramedics, nurses, dispatchers. I'm not just going to be recognizing them. And probably the biggest group that doesn't always necessarily get recognized are our military families, our supporters, the husbands, the wives, the brothers, the sisters, the fathers, the daughters, the mothers, the sons. That's what needs to be recognized. Now, hold on 1 second, because I know that there's not like a technical cadence for you or like a song, but like I said, I wanted everybody to have their moment today, so I found a song for you too.
Oh, yeah, that's
All right, here we go. Everybody say,
We are family.
hey, yeah, yeah.
I got all my sisters with me.
There's a couple brothers out there too.
We are family.
So family, what we gonna do?
Get up, everybody, and sing.
Come on, everybody, put your back into it.
We are family.
Ow, wow, ow, wow.
I got all my sisters with me.
Ow, wow, wow.
Family.
So family, what we gonna do?
Get up, everybody, and sing.
Let's put our hands together for our military supporters today.
can't stop.
I know, right? Let's keep going. So, like I said, I am indeed one of 14 Americans that work here on the ship, and one of the other sides of that is, as I think maybe many of you could probably tell, I was not one that served in the military. A couple reasons for that. Mainly, when someone's usually in my face, my natural reaction is to go to sarcasm, and apparently a smart mouth don't get you through basics. So, I know they're laughing, and yet you also know it's very true. So, okay. But on top of that, I think one of the I don't want to say problems that I had with the idea of going into it, but I'll say the biggest concern that I would have ever had of going into the military life is that you do a lot of ups in the military. Sit-ups and pull-ups and chin-ups and hurry up and get up and shut up. And, the problem that I have with that is that up defies gravity, and gravity is a law, and I'm a law-abiding citizen. So I like to do downs. I like to sit down. I like to lie down. Give me some good music. I'm gonna boogie down. Take me to the Lido, and I'm gonna wolf it down. Like that's the kind of life that works for me, right? But I'm also very privileged in this world to be able to have the downs because of the people that took the ups. That strapped up, that booted up, that stepped up. It's very interesting because being on a cruise ship, I've realized that I've had a chance to open my eyes to so much more of this world. And in doing so, I recognize that there's a lot of things that my friends and I talk about, like for being back home, and I'm from Minnesota, is that there's all these rights that we have. However, I've come to really look at these rights that I have as a privilege, and the reason why is because to me, I look at stuff and I think if it's a right, it should be a human right. However, as being from the States, there's a lot of things that I'm privileged to, because my mom taught me at a young age that privileges are something that are awarded to you, but privileges that can also be taken away. And there's no element to politics today. I don't care what your thought processes are, I'm not here to talk about that. But the world is forever changing. And there's a lot of things that I am very fortunate to have in my life because people fought for me to have an ability to choose one thing or another. They gave me the ability to decide for myself. And that's not something that's out there for the entire world to be able to say that they have. So that's why I look at a lot of what I have in my life as a privilege. However, I am very privileged because of the people that are here in this room that fought for me to be able to have that. And that's why I am excited today to be able to take a few moments to slow things down and to be able to give out that recognition. Because without each and every single one of you in this room, I don't know what my life would look like. But I have a beautiful life that I get to live. I get to know that my family is safe back home. I know that my family is protected because of the people that stand up for us to be able to have the freedoms of this life. And that is a beautiful thing. Because when I talk to some of my peers that are here on the ship, we've got 1,432 team members that represent 64 different nationalities. That's amazing. But in general conversations, sometimes you realize they don't have those privileges. They don't know what their families are doing on a day-to-day. They may not have internet communication to be able to check in with them. And I do. So I look at what I have as privileges, and I want to be able to take a few moments to be able to recognize the fact that, unfortunately, to be able to have all the privileges or the rights that we had to fight for it. But freedom isn't free. And I've got a list of conflicts to be able to recognize, and if I miss one that you were a part of, I want to make sure that we take a moment to recognize it at the end. So I'm going to go through this list, and as we go through, if you served as part of that conflict, I'm going to ask that you stand so that we can give you your flowers today, because everybody deserves those. So I want to start off by recognizing if we've got anyone in the room that was involved during World War II. Unfortunately, that list is getting smaller and smaller. However, not too long ago, I had this guy that was with the band every night on the dance floor. And when I say this man was tearing it up, I mean this man was tearing it up. And I asked if we had anybody that was involved during World War II, and this man stood up. And I was shocked, like, to say the least. And so I went over just to chat with him for a second, and I said, I just gotta know, you were part of World War II. He was like, yeah. And I was like, but you're the same guy from the dance floor, right? And he's like, yeah. And I said, okay, with all due respect, how? And he said, well, when you get new knees, you gotta check out the merchandise. I was not ready for that. But then he also said, you're also only as old as you let yourself become. And I thought that that was such a beautiful thing. And unfortunately, we don't have any to recognize here in the room today, but we still have a lot of love for those. So let's go ahead and give a big round of applause for those involved in that.
My father was the peaceful side of World War II in the Navy, and he's buried in the Elwood National Cemetery in Elwood.
Oh,
So
okay.
he was
For
the
your
peaceful
father
side.
that was here for you. All right, well, we're sorry for what we love Pops. For those that are involved during Korea, I ask that you stand at this time and be recognized. Well, we love them as well, so. For those that are involved during Vietnam, I ask that you stand at this time and be recognized. I'm gonna take one extra second with this group particularly. So I'm just gonna ask that you stay standing for a second if you can. I've had the privilege to have had many a conversation with those that came back during this time. And to hear what life looked like for you absolutely shatters my heart. To hear the things that were thrown at you, the names that were disgusting that people came up with to call you, or the fact that blatantly it was not safe for you to be in a uniform during this time is unfortunate, to say the least. However, while I was not there to stand and fight by your side like you fought for us. I want to say thank you for allowing us the time to recognize that we did y'all so wrong. And I want to say something that I'm not sure many to any of you might have heard during this time. And that is not only thank you for standing strong, thank you for helping shape this world into what it is, but I also want to say, welcome home, my friends. One more time for our Vietnam veterans.
I got shot 48 times in Vietnam.
Oh. Wow.
We were going to talk about that in a second. For those that are involved during Desert Storm, I ask that you stand at this time to be recognized. Desert Shield. Afghanistan. Operation Iraqi Freedom. Enduring Freedom. We've got Grenada, Panama, Somalia, Kosovo, Cuban Missile Crisis, Beirut. Any other conflicts in the room individuals are involved in? I always take a couple extra moments to give out some extra recognition because this first one that I want to recognize, as we talk about conflicts, there's sometimes I don't necessarily want to say a burden that people sometimes feel or a guilt that comes with those that are involved during the Cold War. And sometimes people have a hard time standing for that. But I will always take a moment to give you your flowers because for those that are involved during the Cold War, there was a reason that we were at peace, if you will. And there was a reason that we didn't have to have that. And I want to make sure that you get your flowers today. So for those that were involved during the Cold War, I don't ask, I demand that you stand and get recognized today. So let's give a big round of applause. As I'm the oldest of my siblings, I've got 5 younger sisters. Come from a divorced household raised by a single parent mother. Even the dogs were female, don't worry, all therapy is on its way. I recognize that the women of the military don't always get their recognition. So I'm gonna ask for the women of the military to please stand and be recognized right now. I also like to make sure we recognize those that are currently still serving. As that you stand and be recognized. The last ship that I was on was the Carnival Venezia. And we were based out of New York. And one of the cool things about a ship being based out of New York is that our home port gives us some downtime to celebrate the big city. And as I've been before, one thing that I hadn't done was to go to Ground Zero. And to have been at a point to be able to watch that unfold right before my eyes. And then to be able to go and be in that space was truly something. So I want to be able to take a moment and recognize those that might have been involved during 9/11. I say you stand to be recognized today. I also take a moment to recognize if we have any Purple Heart recipients. As well as any Silver Star and Bronze Star recipients. I also want to be able to take a moment and recognize that there's a lot that happens in this world. And we as civilians are not permitted to know about a lot of these things. And there's a lot of people who are not able to stand for things that we are not permitted to know about. But I want to make sure that they know that we recognize them and we recognize that they may not be able to talk about it. So for those that can't stand for those things that we can't know about, I ask that we recognize them by giving them a big round of applause. I also want to make sure that we take a second for any Gold Star families. I ask that you stand and be recognized. And last but certainly not least, I want to take a moment and recognize those that are not here with us today. For our missing in action, our POWs, prisoners of war, or for those who have simply moved on from this plane, I want to take a moment of silence and remind ourselves that while freedom isn't free, it costs everything. And as we have our POW table to remind ourselves for those that have fallen, I'm going to ask for that moment of silence that we take today to remind ourselves, while they may be gone, they will never be forgotten. As a cruise director, it's kind of my job to do a lot of talking. But today it's not actually about me. And that's the reason that I stand down here. Because the stage is the spotlight. And it's not meant to be on me, so therefore I choose to step away from it. And I want to make sure that we give a moment to let your voices be heard. Sometimes when you follow orders, you don't always have that voice. And so I want to take a moment to be able to share the mic. And if maybe you're a part of an organization that you do something really cool, or you want to be able to take a moment to recognize somebody that's in the room, or maybe recognize somebody that is not here with us, I want to be able to give you that opportunity. So if you'd like to be able to share, just raise your hand, Sharon's got a microphone, I've got a microphone, and we're here to let your voices be heard. So.